It's really easy nowadays to get a college degree that is just not worth it. So here are the top 5 business and finance degrees that will make your time and money spent during college or university worthwhile. Number 5 on the list is marketing and sales. While these two functions operate similarly in their end goal, the career paths can take very different directions depending on which of these areas you specialize in. Generating sales is a very important activity in all businesses, and if you know how to do this well, you will be able to set yourself up for a very lucrative and successful career. In my mind, sales can take place in two forms. It's either by the entry-level employees, which would be like in any retail setting, or sales is done by the upper-level management, which would be in most large corporate settings. And that structure can differ from place to place, but what I'm saying here is you're either going to be a sales rep on the floor making calls and talking to customers, or you're going to be a marketing strategist developing marketing plans for businesses to spread their footprint and ultimately generate more sales. I know a guy, someone very close to me, who did not feel like they were going to have that promising of a career based on a lack of interest in some of the business world and a seemingly underwhelming college degree. But this guy developed some sales skills in a pretty specific industry and very quickly started earning more money than almost everyone else our age that we know. We'll have conversations nowadays thinking back to when we would talk to each other about potentially making 6 figures in the future, and to see how much more money this guy is making than what we envisioned during those conversations is crazy. So trust me, knowing how to sell is an extremely valuable skill. Now, if you take the marketing angle here, you might be thinking a little more about consumer trends, consumer purchasing, but really you're thinking about what will entice somebody to buy a product. Digital marketing falls in this category, and that is extremely important in today's age. It is very, very uncommon for any business to have a sizable sales footprint without doing a huge amount of marketing digitally, online. If you can develop skills in college or university through your major in putting together digital advertising or developing ways to learn about how different customers think differently, those skills can be applied very well in a business setting. You can get a great job doing those types of things. So we are going in order of importance here. Number 5, sales and marketing, was the relatively least important. Number 1 on the list is going to be the most valuable degree you could attain. So number 4 is finance. And I've made separate videos on this channel about the broad array of finance careers because there are so many different ways that you can apply a finance university degree to a full-time job. In general, these jobs are really high paying. They're relatively easygoing. There are some areas of the finance industry where you're going to be working a lot of hours, like 60 hours a week plus. But for the most part, and especially in the later stretches of your career, a finance degree, especially from a good university, can make a huge difference in your future earnings potential and really your quality of life in doing what you decide you want to do for your work. So finance will include things like asset management, consulting, sell side, buy side investing, equity research, fixed income research, sales and trading, and several other categories that are all generally related to valuing assets and making investment decisions, but not all directly related to that. And yes, this finance category is going to include investment banking, private equity, and hedge funds. So you might be wondering, hey AJ, why is this only number 4 on the list? And honestly, each of those sectors within finance, while they're very lucrative and extremely desirable jobs to have, they're few and far between. It's not like you can go to a university in your state, get a finance degree, and then land a job at a good hedge fund making $300,000 a year. It's just not realistic. Now, for the top level of achievers, certainly they will work to achieve those roles. And if that's you, check out a couple of my other videos on how to get into those types of positions. But you can definitely be a part of the other 90% like myself and have a great career in finance doing a job that you really like. So it's number 4 on the list. Number 3 is going to be IT systems or database analytics. This is a really cool path for anyone interested in IT and applying technology to financial decision making. Certainly anyone interested in doing their own coding. I know a few people in finance roles that are financial analysts at companies, but they code in their company's ERP system, creating short or quick algorithms to identify or interpret data that they're seeing from the happenings of the business, things like that. Honestly, being an internal financial analyst like I'm describing here, or an IT systems analyst at a company, is maybe the least lucrative of all the college degrees on this list. But that's okay, because you need to do something you enjoy, and it's not like you're going to be making scraps doing a financial analyst role for SAP or something like that. You're still going to be making really good money, especially in the later parts of your career. If you like working on a computer and you like thinking about corporate finance or modeling on financial analytics, this is the type of degree you should be looking for when applying to or switching from different colleges or universities. Number 2 on the list is financial planning. 10 years ago, financial planning did not exist as a standalone college degree, at least not for the most part. So this is something that's really been newly added to many university and college curriculums. If you follow this channel, you know that I'm a retail financial planner. I'm a financial advisor. So you could be also saying here, AJ, you're being biased by putting financial planning, your job, at number 2 on the list. But consider this statistic. In 1980, about 20,000 people passed the Series 7 exam. That is the licensing exam here in the United States required to give investment advice to clients. The year I passed the Series 7, which was 2016, only about 800 individuals passed that test. And there are drastically fewer financial advisors coming into the wealth management career track than there were in the 80s. And sure, some people aren't utilizing financial advisors anymore. There are good wealth management solutions online through robo-advisors, but robo-advisors, at least in their current state, are not able to deliver a really personalized financial planning service like an in-person financial advisor can. So the need for young financial advisors in the wealth management field is always growing and growing quickly. So if you think about it, a career that got popular in the 1980s means that there are a lot of 60, 65-year-old financial advisors out there right now, and they're going to have to sell their businesses when they choose to retire. They sort of have two options. Option number one is hire a junior advisor to come work under their wing for a few years and then sell the business to them. If you're interested in wealth management or financial planning as a career, this would be a great way for you to develop a successful future. Or the other option is for them to sell their business to a larger practice, but then they still are going to retire, so that larger practice needs to hire junior financial advisors to come in and service all of those client accounts. In either scenario, financial planning as a college degree is going to be highly sought after by those two parties that need to replace the skills that a financial advisor can provide. Trust me, I'm seeing this trend firsthand in the business that I work in today, right now, this week, next month, this year, and every year moving forward. If you're an honest, hardworking person, you get along well with people, you can talk and hold a conversation, you can present your ideas to people and sell them on why those ideas are good for them to pursue, then you can have a very successful career in financial planning. Finally, number 1 on our list, and some of you will be surprised by this, I'm saying accounting is the most valuable business or finance degree you can pursue in college today. And trust me, I know accounting is widely considered the most boring career in business, if not the most boring career in all of the world. Nobody wants to be an accountant nowadays. Part of the reason why accounting is number 1 on this list is because an accounting degree is extremely valuable even if you don't do anything in tax or audit, the general accounting fields. Even if you want to be a stock picker or an investment manager, or you want to build your own business, or you want to be a consultant, knowing how balance sheets, income statements, statements of cash flows work together, and being able to identify profitable or unprofitable business ventures is an extremely, extremely valuable thing to be able to do. I'm a personal financial planner, like I mentioned, and I maintain that the 3 accounting classes that I took in college are still the most valuable college classes that I ever went through. Only one of those 3 classes actually applied to personal tax returns, but I spend so much time now in my current role thinking about taxes and tax planning that those classes I had in college were extremely valuable. Honestly, I'd probably be a more educated person had I done an accounting degree and had more tax classes relative to the finance degree that I took. And then of course you can go the route of actually working in tax, actually being an accountant. You could do audit for major corporations, that would be a lot of fun. You can do forensic accounting. If you really love spreadsheets and numbers, it can be fun. These jobs are in extremely high demand, like a couple of the others I mentioned earlier. They can be very high paying when you get to a level of your career that you are doing some of the business, you're sourcing some of the business. I'm talking about, VP or certainly partner level of any accounting firm. And it can be a lot of fun helping people get out of paying the IRS more than they should have to. We'll put it that way. Nobody likes giving their money away to taxes. So as an accountant, if you ever end up in a position where you help businesses or people do less taxes, then they're really gonna like you. And you might have a lot of fun doing it, depending on how you feel about the IRS. I'll leave it at that. But the point is, accounting is a great degree to pursue in your college or university studies. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end of the video. The YouTube algorithm loves the long watch time. If you could also like this and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, I would very much appreciate that as well. As always, have a good one.